Good evening and welcome to Scrapin. So what we're doing today is we're going to remove the governor from this Predator 212cc motor, and I may need to get the impact gun. Let's flip this guy up. Let's see if I can do this here. Do it this way. I think I was going the wrong way. What we're doing is popping this off. This motor's brand new. It's never been run. Has no oil in it. Nothing. So what we're doing is we're unscrewing this whole thing, sliding it off. Make sure, brand new motor, you got your key and everything, don't lose this. I'm going to stick mine up here so I don't lose it. I think you actually have to take the gas tank off too, but let's check this out. I think we're supposed to do that first. So if this was yours, I'd recommend testing it out first, making sure it works. I just have no ambition of really running it with the governor, so also don't lose your bolts. Next bolts, whatever. I'm gonna go grab a different wrench. Give me a second. Pretty sure I'm gonna need a few other tools to do this, so I'm probably gonna have to run away a couple times to grab tools. I'm going the wrong way again. I am. I'm on the ball tonight with this. So, two bolts here. One here and one here for the gas tank. And then I think there's one on the other side. Just take this off first because the governor comes up through the top there. You'll have to actually thread something into that hole to stop it from leaking. So, pretty sure it's this bolt that you take off for this. We're going to find out. And if it's not, oh well. Yeah, this is it. It's got to be a pretty short bolt. Let's see if we can zoom in on that so you can get a good view of it. So right there. This bolt is the one. That's number 3 for the gas tank. I'm sure there's an easier way to get to this one, but I'm sure it's going to be fun putting it back in. Can't be a very long bolt because there's stuff in the way here. There you go. That's that. There's this little guy right here. It's just to hold this line and this line. Should just pull right off, but it may take a little finesse. I may have to grab needle nose on this. Oops. This is just a return line off of the carburetor. A lot of times you don't use it anyway. So let's see, where does this guy go? So your gas line can take off on either side. I'm gonna take it off right here. This is gonna be hard to show you probably. See if I can get a good view of that. So right here, you gotta squeeze this with pliers. So I'm gonna go grab a pair of pliers. Alright, so that's basically it. So there's your gas tank. Oh, let's zoom back out. There's your gas tank. There's that guy. Everything else, but so this is your actual governor right here. So what it does is just slows down the RPM as it opens up this little guy on the inside. What you have to do is you have to take these springs off. And I'm pretty sure one of these, yeah, because this is your throttle. We have to get back in there and you have to adjust. You have to put a little bar from here straight to your throttle after you're done with all this. So, trying to decide what I want to do first. I think we'll take this guy off. And all this is pressure. Just got pressure on here. So, take this bolt off first. I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but this is just how I feel like doing it. Alright, so this is off. You're going to have to take this pin off, but I'm not going to take it off yet because we have to get in there first. And I don't want it to fall. So here, I'm going to pull this guy off. And you're going to pull, there's two springs here. I'm going to get that one off. And this one is like a little clip. So there's that. So you have to get into all of this stuff too. And I'm trying to think, probably should pull off the whole thing. So on this piece, you just lift up here. And it pops up, and this is your air filter. Just keep this out of the way. Here's your air filter. I will probably be changing out this whole thing here too at some point, but for now I'm just removing the governor. I'm taking this off so I can look at everything. I think you have to take all this off to do what you're doing in here. You got your so what I did here to take this piece off, take off the two bolts here. Bolts, I keep saying bolts, nuts. And then you have your return line that goes to the top of the tank, and you have your, I guess it's like your PCV connector here. So pop these hoses off with whatever tool works for you. Needle nose seems to work pretty good for me. The top one you don't actually have to take off because it's attached, I just realized. And you already took it off the gas tank, so ta-da, here it is. Alright, so now you can see everything. So basically what you have to do here, these little springs here, you have to modify this to go to here because this is your new throttle. So, what we'll do is we'll take this off. I'm pretty sure you don't even need this anymore. Pretty sure you just go straight from here to here, and this becomes your whole new throttle. So you want to find this in the closed position, attach it here, and as you push it, you want it to go all the way to the full position. And you're also going to need a return spring on this. Well, that's up to you, I guess, on whatever project you're doing. But for me, for a go-kart, stuff like that, you need a return spring to pull this back. So I'm going to have to find one. I'll probably take one off one of my track projects. Like, there's a return spring here, but it's really tight. So I wonder if we would just loosen this. I just don't think, I think you're supposed to put a heavier duty return spring. That's really what it comes down to. Well, that actually works. I'll just loosen this and it returns it. It's not perfect. I think I'm going to put a stronger spring here. But then this area is for, you can go from in here and then have it so it can control the throttle. So basically all I have to do is modify this to connect here. So for now the rest of this is staying stock. We can now go back in, and here's your gas tank connector. Just make sure you don't lose anything. And honestly on this gas tank connector on the other side isn't that great, but don't lose any of your seals. This is the in between. It's like a spacer with the stud on it. Don't bend any of your bars or break anything. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to open up this case. So I already loosened all these bolts in the beginning. It's leaking a little bit of oil, so they obviously did run it once at the factory. But I have not touched this thing. I just didn't have any ambition of running it first. So I'm going to save all your bolts. You really should be replacing these gaskets every time you open this. I'm sure there's a torque spec for this, which I'll have to figure out what it is. But this should basically just pull out. It's coming. There you go. So this gasket actually looks pretty good. You can see your bearings and everything in here in case you think something's wrong. There's a little bit of oil, not much. So I'm going to keep that off to the side. Try to keep this stuff clean, especially if you're reusing it. This gasket looks almost perfect. You really, like I said, shouldn't reuse it, but I probably will. So also, people disconnect the oil sensor and take it out. I think I'm going to leave it. I will probably just disconnect it in the wiring over here. But for now, I'm going to leave it. I don't care. I could always come back in and take it out if I don't like it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try not to dump all this oil that's in here. There is actually like a quarter of a quart right here. Let's see if I can get you a better view. Right here is the governor, the little knob that gets moved and then adjusts your speed based on what you're putting in and out. I am going to cut this off right here with the Dremel, and then I'm going to push it through because it'll be easier to get it out. So to do this, I'm going to put the clip back on for the moment so it doesn't fall down. Which looks like it's going to be easier said than done once again. So I'm going to cut that pretty close to the bottom. And the oil is right there. Alright. Easier said than done. Thank God they use crappy metal. And I just lost it. Alright, so now you can take off your clip and push it back through. All we're doing here is pulling this down. You may have to give it a whack or two. It's almost out. Move the engine a little bit. There we go. So I just pushed it straight down, and now it's out. Ta-da! So, cutting it will definitely make that easier. I don't think it's completely necessary, but it'll definitely make it easier. So now what you have to do, it's going to be really hard to film this, so probably won't film most of it. Alright, so right there is this black gear. Well, this is the actual governor right here. So what you have to do is, I'm pretty sure you just pull on this and it pulls the whole thing out. And then there's a little clip under this that you have to break off. Yeah, this just pulls straight off. If I can get it in there. It's pulled straight up and it popped right off. The rest is more of a pain in the balls. Not to say it's hard, but you just have to get that. You either get the clip off or you just grab it and break it. I go with the break it method usually. And honestly, this thing won't do anything anymore. But I think you're just basically taking it out to get it out of there. So it can't cause any trouble. But what's there, it's hard to see. Maybe I can point to it. If I can focus in on it. Come on, focus. Doesn't like it. Alright, you can see it there. That little ridge. It's going to be really hard to point to. A little ridge right down there, and on the opposite side, it's a little clip. And if you could get something in there to bend it, this thing would pull straight out. As long as you had the engine in the right orientation to get it out like that. So if I can get something down there. Basically, you need a good flat head. I don't know. I think I might do the cannibalistic way first and see if that works. If you give it a good yank, it should just bend. The cannibalistic way may not be the way to go. But let me see if I can get a good screwdriver. There's the gear. Still a big piece in there. So now, put the rest out. Let me zoom out now. So this is the gear. I got it all out except for the inside. So, let's see if we can get that out. So the solution is smash the crap out of it. There it is. So there's another washer on this one. Seems to be a little harder to get off. That actually works pretty good. So I found all the pieces. Here's the washer. Used gravity to help me get it out. I had to tap this hole real quick and find a bolt for it, and then you can rinse it out. So what I'm doing is drilling this out a little bit bigger, so that way I can tap it a little bit bigger, because the screw I had and the tap was not good enough for this. So alright, so after a lot of drilling and tapping, which I've cut out because it was just a bit wasting time to watch, we finally got this tapped. So, had to switch bolts. This one's our new one. Fits pretty good. What I'm going to do, yeah, it doesn't come down very far. What I'm going to do is just give this a coat of silicone, just so it doesn't leak. Then we will call this good. This thing should be great once it dries, and we're not going to put any oil or anything into this until tomorrow. Well, probably not even tomorrow, but minimum tomorrow. This stuff usually can fill up right away. I'm not going to even try. So, that's that. Pretty sure this is a 10 millimeter. I'm just going to snug it up a little bit. Not going to go crazy. Alright. Going to wipe off any excess underneath. And we're going to give it a good spray. And rinse out the whole motor because there's a lot of crap in here right now. So, let's do that. So what I would recommend, since we've made such a mess in the motor doing this, tap in and everything, I would change the oil after you run it just a short amount of time, just to make sure you got everything out. So. So that's really the gist of this. You just got to get that out, seal the hole, make sure everything's clean. What I'm going to do, and you're not going to see it in this video, is I'm going to leave this till tomorrow, blow everything out because I still see some more metal particles in there. And right now it's really late and I don't want to start up the compressor, so this is going to be left open for the night. I don't want to destroy the engine the first time I run it, so that's the plan. Make sure you clean it out good. That would be my first thing. And yeah, that's basically how you remove the governor. The reverse to put everything back on. And like I said, The only other thing you have to do here, just be careful, everything's loose, is you have to make this attach to this. So you just got to modify this, which I believe you just pull to the side to get out. Yep. Pull it to the side. So you just need to modify this to connect to here, and then that'll give you your control. I would say give yourself a little, like, go over, up a little bit, and then over. But let's look at it. Yeah, so you're going to want to go up. You're going to want this in the totally off position, and then you're going to want to mark this where you want to bend it, because you want this to be basically dead on. So I'm going to bend it up right here, which will be fun. Let's get this out. Bend it up right here. And then I'm going to double check this. Which is actually nice when you have this off. So that looks pretty good. And then you really want to put like a little end on it so you can get it in. So with this loose would probably be the best time to do this. So all I did is bend it up right here. And then I need a height. Somewhere in here. So now, when you push this, you now get the throttle action. So that's really the gist of it, but you should have it so that it clips in somehow. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend it this way and hook it around. So I'm going to go something like this, and then just cut it here and bend it down. Mark it. So that's where I'm going to cut it. So now I want to pull this out. Go like this. Bring it down. I'm going to break this off. Breaking it seems like more work than it's worth. Alright, so I broke it. And then I'm going to just make it bend so it'll hook in. I'm sure there's a million ways you can do this where it may look better. So now you're going to have to line it up. It's going to be probably hard. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but you go. There's my throttle. And this, I could bend it around a little more, but I want to be able to get it out again. So there you go. Governorless. So yeah, you put your throttle cable in here, and then it comes out and it hooks in right there, and that'll pull and push. If you push down, it'll push it out. That's that. So what I'm going to do, because all I have to do is clean this side out, is I am going to put this back on. Make sure you put this on the right way because it's got a little vent area. Make sure you put it on the right direction too, which it looks like there's only one direction it can go. So that goes like that. We're going to put our little breather back on. This guy right here. It's probably hard to see. This breather goes right to here. Push that guy on. May have to do this. You put the breather on after, so start putting this on. And make sure all your switches and levers are in the right place, which mine are not. So if you put it in wrong, you're going to break them off. So now is when you put on that little tube as you push in. Push that down. And then put your nuts back on. And find your wrench. Tighten this down. I'm sure there is some specific torque value for this. Usually torque these to anything and just go by feel. Make it nice and tight. If your engine's running weird, it could be that there isn't a good seal here because you don't want any air leaking. Then we're going to put this guy back in here. Looks like he was this way. And this just clips back on like this. Just make sure everything's lined up. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Remember, replace your air filter, otherwise it voids the warranty. Not that any of this voids the warranty, I swear. I mean, it completely voids the warranty, so don't be stupid. Alright, so put this in the wrong way. Make sure you put your little tube in the right direction. I did not. If you put it in the wrong way, it's going to get in the way of everything. So next, we want to put this back on. Putting on the little nipple for the gas. Put your gas line on, I mean. So what I'm going to do is pull that down a little bit. I really should have made this gas line like just a teeny hair longer, and this would not be a big pain in the ass. So that's a big pain, putting my gas line back on. Just be aware of that. And this goes back on the top. But I am going to start to thread this in first if I can. This is boring, you can't see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is putting the gas tank bolt back on. Make sure you make this tight enough or it's not going to fall out as the engine's running. And then, just got these last two. These guys right here. Which I don't think it matters at all which bolts you use where, because they're all this. Which bolts? I did it again. Which nuts you use. They're all exactly the same. User must check oil every 8 hours or avoids warranty. How would they possibly know? You just walk in there and go, yeah, I check the oil every, 7.5 hours just to be safe because I didn't want it to run out. And they'll be like, no, you didn't. There's no way. But anyway. Well, anyway, that's it for this episode. And I would definitely say do what I'm doing. Leave this till the next day or get out your air compressor and blow the crap out of this thing, because it is going to be hard to get out all those shavings if you tap the hole. I mean, you could even take out the crank and everything, but that involves taking out all the stuff on the other end. So I'd say just blow the crap out of it. Make sure you don't see any flakes. Like, I still see some flakes in here. If you feel around, it's pretty good up here. There's nothing really up there. A little bit. Because as I've run my hand around the engine, there's still a little bit in there. But just make sure you get all these little flakes out of there. I'm going to go through thoroughly clean this tomorrow and make sure we got everything out. Because last thing you want is to destroy the engine because you left some metal flakes in here. Like, the real thing to do is take everything out, clean the whole thing out. But for a $100 engine, that's also like, why would you do that? But yeah, so make sure you replace your gaskets, because they're only really meant to be used once. And yeah, and also, let me put it this way, if you don't replace, if you don't get all those metal files out of there, you're going to destroy this bearing in no time. So make sure you get everything out of there. This bearing will just get eaten right up. If I were you, if you sprayed all this down too, I would probably throw a little bit of oil in this before you put this cover back on. But I'm not going to actually spray the cover, I'm just going to wipe it down. Make sure everything's nice and clean, and then we'll call it a day. But anyway, so that's that. The governor's out. I'm pretty pleased. I also have the throttle working right. Make sure you put your vent back on for the gas tank. Not sure how long I'll be actually using this gas tank or anything, so this is literally just all temporary, more than likely. But we'll see. So anyway, that's that. So this is removing your governor from your 212cc Predator motor, and this is what's left of the governor after you remove it all. Here's the little piece that I cut off. Here's the rest of the insides. Here's a little clip. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Soon I'm going to be working on the Volvo, so all this go-kart nonsense will be in the past, so to speak, but we'll show any cool things that we come across with this. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.